Hey, what's going on, News and Motion family? Welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. Just let me say, how about them Buckeyes? That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. Do me a favor as y'all come in the room. Hit the like button. After you hit the like button, hit the share button. Let everybody know that I'm on with a little bit of sports news for this evening, November the 2nd, 2024. Hey, like I said, how about them Buckeyes? They did it today. What a difference a week makes. Um, some people got on me last week. I had a couple of people get on me last week talking about I was too hard on Ohio State. But last week didn't look like this week. Yes, it was another close game, but there was a difference in the close game. Um, Last week against Nebraska, it's like they coming off a bye week. It's like they had no drive whatsoever against Nebraska. Like they played down to the competition. Uh, I was upset with how they played last week. I really was. I was very upset. There's really nothing to talk about last week, even though they did get a W. I take the W, but you got to put forth some effort. And last week, they really didn't put forth any effort. But today, like I said, what a difference a week makes. Today, against the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions, the Buckeyes showed their true grit today. Uh, what do I mean? Last week, uh, last week against Nebraska, uh, there was no running game uh, against that unranked Nebraska team. Ohio State had 31 rushes, 31 carries or attempts, rush attempts for 64 yards. That's 2.1 yards a carry. You can't win like that in the Big Ten. You can't win like that nowhere in football. You got to be able to run the ball. This week, today, against the number 3 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, the Buckeyes had 176 total rushing yards on 40 attempts. That's 4.4 yards a carry. That's 4.5 yards a carry. Them boys was running the ball, and they did it behind a put together offensive line because their 2 starting offensive tackles got hurt last week against Nebraska. They put together a line, and this team, this line, uh, showed their dominance. They did what they had to do. Uh, the starting left guard moved to left tackle. The starting center moved to guard, and they put somebody else in at center. But they showed their dominance all game long. They pushed it. They pushed Penn State around, especially on that last drive, starting up their own 4 yard line, and they drove it down the field. And what made it feel so good was Will Howard ran around the end to get the final first down, slid like he did last week against Nebraska, but he slid this time. But he slid to keep the clock running so Ohio State can go ahead and run out the clock and get the victory. Like I said, it was completely is a difference. If you watch both games, you can see the difference. Uh, the want that Ohio State to win this game. They really, really wanted to win this game. They got Penn State's number. This is win number 8 in a row, number 9 out of 10 in the past 10 years. Ohio State has Penn State's number. I don't know what's going on with Coach Franklin. I like Coach Franklin, but this one here might have put the nail in his coffin because he can't beat Ohio State. And this year he doesn't have Michigan, but past few years he couldn't beat Michigan either. So I don't know what's going on. Hey Rosanna, how's my Tiger sister doing? Thanks for tuning in to check out Game Over with me. Uh, but them Buckeyes, they look real good. The other part that looked good to me for the second week in a row, defense looked pretty strong for the second week in a row. They had another goal line stands today. That was another great performance. After that performance they had against Oregon, the Buckeyes looked real, real good 2 weeks in a row. The defense on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, they held Penn State. They held Penn State to 270 total yards of offense. But the four biggest plays to me came on that goal line stance from OSU's 4 yard line. Penn State had four chances to get it in, and Ohio State stood strong and wouldn't let them punch it in to try to tie the game up. And like I said, that kind of sealed their fate. Ohio State did what they had to do, and they drove down the field. And like I said, to run out the clock, um, which was a good thing. Um, the Buckeyes can continue to show their dominance and run the ball like they did today, they could make a deep run into the playoffs because I feel they're going to make the playoffs. But they can make a deep run into the playoffs, and they could win it all because you got to be able to run the ball. Oh, did Kelly come in the room? Hey, babe, how you doing? I see somebody. Rosanna just spoke to you, so you must be in the room watching. What's going on, sweetie? I love you. We're going to get something to eat after this. We're going to get something to eat after this. I'm hungry, and then I want to go to sleep. I'm sleepy. Anyway, but yeah, if they can continue to play like this, Ohio State is going to be okay. I got a feeling they can make a deep run into the playoffs, and not only make a deep run into the playoffs, they can also win it all. Like I said, you got to have a running game if you're going to play this game. And with you having two of the best running backs in college football, you should be able to run the ball down the other team's throat. And you also have a running quarterback. And Will Howard showed what he can do when he puts his mind to it. He played a good game today. Yeah, he had a pick six on his first pass today, but he buckled down and he did what he had to do. This happened to be one of Will Howard's best games to me. I felt good for him. Will Howard, he transferred into Ohio State this season, but he played for Kansas State last year. Well, last couple of years, he played for Kansas State. He was their starting quarterback. But Will Howard is a Pennsylvania native, and he wanted to play for Penn State. But Coach Franklin wouldn't recruit him, and he felt kind of slighted because he didn't get recruited by Penn State, his childhood favorite team. And for him to go back home today and play in not so happy Valley for Penn State fans. They not too happy right now there in Happy Valley, but not so happy Valley for Penn State fans. He played his heart out in front of his family and friends, and he got the win for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that's kind of like I remember experiencing something like that a few years back when Coach Cooper. That's a whole lot of years back when Coach Cooper was the head coach at Ohio State. He did the same thing to a Grove City running back. Said he wasn't good enough or he couldn't crack the lineup at Ohio State, but he ended up going to South Carolina. Ohio State played against South Carolina in a bowl game, and this kid from Grove City, who Coach Cooper said he wasn't good enough, ran for 200 and some odd yards. Hey, how you doing, Marion? How's it going? Nice to see you, Miss Jackson. Uh, but he ran for over 200 and something yards and three touchdowns as South Carolina beat Ohio State. And the headline in the paper was from that running back from Grove City. He said, "Cooper, do you think I'm good enough now?" So hey, you can't slight people who's right there in your own backyard because they are good enough, especially if they want to play for your team. You ought to give them a shot, or at least look at them. But Franklin didn't even look at this kid, didn't even recruit him. He wasn't even on Franklin's radar. He went elsewhere looking for another quarterback, and he had a quarterback right there in his own backyard who could have done for him. He may even been able to beat Ohio State today had he been playing for Penn State. But I'm glad we got Will Howard. He played a good game, like I said. In other scores today, this afternoon, Miami, number 5 Miami, aka the U, they beat Duke 53-31. Number 19, Ole Miss beat Arkansas 63-31. Number 21, Army, go Army. Yes, I'm an Army vet, but go Army. They remain undefeated as they beat Air Force 20-3. Hey man, Army hadn't been undefeated like this in a long time. And I'm not taking nothing away from Navy because they only lost one game and they lost that game last week to Notre Dame. But I'm not taking. I can't wait for the Army Navy game. That's the best game of the season to me. Yeah, I know Michigan and Ohio State is coming up, but the Army Navy game has always been a great game for me. I always said that's the best game because both offenses run the same play. So it kind of stop me if you can. So I say that's the best game because it's a defensive game. I like good defense, but I'm an Army guy. So thank you, Army, for beating Air Force 20-3. Number 24, Illinois. You had a fight in the line. They took an L today to Minnesota. See, the Big Ten, that's what they do. They beat each other up. They lost to Minnesota 25-17. Another scores this afternoon. Oregon right now with 3 minutes left in the game uh, is beating Michigan 31-17. Sorry, team up north, but y'all getting ran out the stadium right now. Uh, Number 2, Georgia just went up in the third quarter on Florida, 20-13. Texas Tech is beating Iowa State right now. Number 11, Iowa State, 17-16. That's always a good game. Texas Tech give Iowa State a run for their money every year, if not pulling out a victory. Number 13, Indiana, who was undefeated, who Ohio State will see in 2 weeks. I think they'll see them in 2 weeks. Ohio State will face Indiana. But right now they're beating Michigan. They're beating the brakes off Michigan State 47-10. It's 5 minutes left in that game. Number 17, Kansas State is beating Houston right now, 16-10. And number 10, Texas A&M, they take on South Carolina tonight on ABC. Also tonight, you got Louisville and Clemson on ESPN. That game kicks off at 7:30. You got Kentucky at number 7, Tennessee. That's on the SEC network. That game is at 7:45. Then you got SMU, number 20 SMU playing number 18 Pittsburgh on the ACC network. That's at 8 p.m. And other games this evening. Uh, when does Colorado play? Who is now ranked and was now ranked. Uh, Colorado, they don't play this week. They got a bye this week. Colorado has a bye this week. I was trying to see who they play, but they don't play anybody this week. Uh, so that's going to wrap that up for college football this week. But I'm proud of Colorado. All the Deion Sanders haters, y'all need to wrap it up and give that man his roses. He's proven to everybody that he's a good coach. Y'all said he couldn't do nothing. He wasn't going to be able to win uh, in big time football, FCS football. He was playing against lesser talent in the subdivision down there at Jackson State. But if you got talent, and you can coach, and you know the game, you know how to put people in position, you can win. Deion Sanders has the Colorado bowl eligible because they won their 6th game last week. So they are now bowl eligible. But they could win out. Looking at their schedule, Colorado could win out. And we just got to see what's going to happen from there. There'll be some NFL games on tomorrow, and the schedule goes like this in the NFL for tomorrow. Um, Come on, pop on up so I can tell these people the schedule. Here we go. The schedule for tomorrow. You got Dallas Cowboys. Man, I'm getting ready to stop watching them. I promise you, I'm getting ready to stop watching them. Dallas Cowboys plays against Atlanta at 1:00. That game is on Fox. You got Miami at Buffalo. You got to see what's going to happen there. That game is at 1:00 on CBS. You got the Las Vegas Raiders playing against the Cincinnati Bengals at 1 p.m. on Fox. You got the LA Chargers playing against the Cleveland Browns at 1:00 on CBS. You got the New England Patriots playing against the Tennessee Titans at 1 p.m. on Fox. You got the Washington Commanders playing against the New York Giants. I almost said Redskins, but they changed their name a couple of years ago. But you got the Washington Commanders playing against the New York Giants at 1:00 on Fox. You got the New Orleans Saints playing against the Carolina Panthers at 1:00 on CBS. Denver and Baltimore face off tomorrow at 1:00 on CBS. Jacksonville at Philly at 4:05 on CBS. You got the Chicago Bears playing against the Arizona Cardinals at 4:05 on CBS. Wow. You got the Detroit Lions playing against Green Bay at 4:25 on Fox. Also, you got the LA Rams playing against Seattle at 4:25 on Fox. And to wrap it up, tomorrow night, you got the Indianapolis Colts playing against the Minnesota Vikings. That game is at 8:20 on NBC. And then to wrap up the weekend on football, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Kansas City at 8:15 p.m. on ESPN and ABC. Oh, that's on Monday night. But you got to check your local listings because they got a lot of games that overlap each other. So check your local listings for who comes on tomorrow for your squad. The NBA done jumped off, and they've been playing pretty good ball. I think the surprise team is the LA Lakers. They jumped off to a 3-0 start, then they dropped two, and then they won again last night. But the conversation has been, and I had to correct somebody in the shop today. This is the story I want to talk about. The conversation has been about Bronny James. Come on, people. There's 2 rounds in the NBA draft. A total of 58 players gets drafted. Total. Bronny James got picked with the 55th pick. 3 picks away from 58. He was almost the last pick in the NBA draft. The Lakers took him in the 2nd round. And you had people in the shop today talking about, I don't think he's ready. Why ain't he doing anything? How come he not doing nothing? So I asked a question to him. I said, what is the number 1 pick doing? Can you answer me that? What's the number 1 pick doing? It was like, who's the number 1 pick? I said, see, y'all don't know anything. All y'all worried about is what Bronny is doing. He's the 55th pick, 2nd round pick. Give Bronny a break. That's why they're going to send him down to the G League. Well, let him go to the G League so he can get some playing time and work on his game, but they're not going to fill his roster spot because they're going to call him right back up. Let that man get some playing time to work on his game. But still, my question is, what's the number 1 pick doing? Well, Atlanta had the number 1 pick. And their number 1 pick, who came from France, is averaging 8 points a game coming off the bench, and he's not doing too good. But you expect Bronny to be all world. I said, why do you expect Bronny to be all world? They said, well, look who his daddy is. I said, that's just it. He's not his daddy. He's Bronny. I said, if that's the case, why didn't Dr. J's boys make him? Did they ever try to play basketball? Yeah, they tried to play, but they didn't make it. Look who their daddy was. Why didn't Michael Jordan's sons make it? One of his boys played big-time college basketball in Illinois. He was nowhere near getting drafted into the NBA. But his daddy is considered the greatest to ever lace him up. That's what they say. That's what a lot of people say. Why didn't they make it? Leave Bronny alone. Let that young man, who was 19 years old, get himself together and get ready to play. Y'all people are killing me talking about Bronny the way y'all talking about Bronny, talking about he's not ready. Well, he has to be something. Because out of 58 players who got drafted this year, him being number 55 and making the roster for the Los Angeles Lakers, he has to be ready. That means he's better than half the people in the country who couldn't make it. He's better than half those guys down in G League, in the G League, who didn't make, who's trying to get into the NBA. Bronny has a roster spot. He's not trying to get a roster spot. He has one. Leave Bronny alone. Bronny's going to be okay. He's going to go down, work on some more things. He's going to get called right back up. They're going to see how that works out. He may see the G League a couple of times this season just to keep him acclimated and keep him working on his game because he's not going to see a lot of playing time because you got too many veterans out there playing basketball and Bronny's just a rookie. Only time Bronny was going to see some time is if the Lakers blew somebody out or was getting blown out. like they did against Cleveland the other night. Cleveland blew the Lakers out. Was winning by 21 points when Bronny was inserted into the game. Mind you, by the way, Bronny scored his first 2 points in Cleveland, a place where he grew up watching his dad play. His first 2 points came in Cleveland, in the same arena that he watched his dad play in. That's big news. But y'all people want to talk about Bronny's not ready. People who talking about Bronny's not ready, where'd y'all play at? Some of y'all wasn't even ready to play on your recreation team, let alone high school team. But you want to talk about Bronny? Leave Bronny alone. Let that young man do what he do. 58th pick by the Lakers. They must have seen something. They must have seen his talent to say that he is ready. Because all the naysayers out here say he's not ready, but he's on the NBA roster. He's on the NBA roster. Leave that man alone. Let that man do what he do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's mostly ladies in here today. I appreciate you ladies for coming in, checking me out. Roseanne, I feel kind of bad, but I want to give it out for Coach Michael Bell and the Columbus East High School Tigers. They took one on the chin last night in the playoffs. They lost 41-40. Other team got their extra point. Ohio State and East missed their extra point. So Tigers, good season. You finished 8-3. This is the third year in a row y'all done made the state playoffs. And like Coach Mike Bell says, the standard is the standard, and he's brought something to East High School that we hadn't seen in a while. These young men are winning. They're winning football games, playing hard, and like I said, the standard is the standard. So let's go. Congratulations, East High School. You finished with an 8-3 record this year, but that's all right. You made the playoffs. You made a good showing last night. You should be okay. We'll see y'all next year. Let's see what's gonna happen next year. But that was it. That's it for today. I'm gonna see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, make sure you go vote, because Tuesday's the day. Tuesday is the day. Please do not please do not go cast your vote, and don't let them set us back 50 years. Let's not fall back in time. Let's continue to move forward. Also, don't forget to turn your clocks back tonight. Mine's going to get turned back in a few minutes when I go back upstairs, because I'm going to sleep. I will not be up at 2 a.m. I will be asleep at 2 a.m. But they want you to turn your clocks back at 2 a.m. I'm turning mine back. As soon as I go upstairs, I'm turning the clocks back. That way I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. But thank you so much. Like I said, go vote. Turn your clocks back and go Bucks. Hey, thanks for tuning in. That's my show for today. Hey, peace. I'll see y'all next week. Game over.